Welcome everyone, my name is Caden and today we'll be taking a quick look at the Skydio 2. My goal in today's video is to provide a brief overview of just the Skydio 2 without any additional accessories, what to expect out of the box, and what makes Skydio different than the competition. Alright, let's get started. Alright, to start off, let's begin with what comes in the box for the Skydio 2. So here we have the wall adapter, we have a Skydio 2 battery. Here is the wall adapter. Comes in this little protective case. Right, then we have the Skydio 2 itself. Comes with a gimbal guard right there. Then you get a few various accessories including a Skydio 2 cable, some spare propellers, and a Skydio 2 cloth. Okay, so to start off with the Skydio 2, we have a 4K HDR 60 frames per second camera with a 3-axis stabilized gimbal. And this camera system is fairly unique. It has a magnetic swappable ND filter system, so you can instantly just throw on an ND filter, magnetically sticks right on, and it's super convenient compared to a lot of drones we have to screw them on, and especially with gimbals, they can be quite finicky. Great job, Skydio, I love that idea. Alright, so moving on to the battery life. Here we have a Skydio battery. Comes with the drone itself. Additional batteries cost $99. You have an LED indicator right at the top here. Overall, this is a great battery. Durable, feels solid. It's got rubberized grip. And again, Skydio has a proprietary technology where you just instantly clip the battery right on and it's ready to go. And this drone actually has the lowest possible operating temperature out of any consumer drone. And that's a pretty big feature, especially when flying in colder environments. Alright, so moving on to the autonomy. With the Skydio 2, this is what makes it unique compared to any other drone, including Skydio's first generation drone, the R1. In this generation drone, we have 6 total navigational cameras, and they're all 4K. You have one here, one here, one here, and you also have 3 on the bottom. Similar orientation, except it's inverted. Overall, the Skydio 2 autonomy system is what separates this drone from all else, and so far it has been a phenomenal system. Compared to the industry, most drones are obstacle sensing, not avoidance. Those terms are often swapped hand in hand. All in all, the Skydio 2 can fly autonomously, and it will avoid obstacles within reason. Alright, so now we've got the specs out of the way, let's move on to a brief test flight of the Skydio 2. During this test flight, I will be providing commentary, and I will have my iPhone screen recording up on the display as well as what the Skydio 2 is actually seeing. Okay, so here we have the Skydio 2. I have just launched it from my mobile device. I am currently running iOS 13.4.1 and the application has been pretty good for me so far. No major issues. I've had a few issues with the SD card where it says that the SD card wasn't recognizable. And it was really odd. I wasn't able to fly with that SD card, and I actually had to go and switch it. This was on another flight, but that's just a little heads up there. Hopefully Skydio will fix that in a future update, but I have not encountered that again. Either way, let me give you a quick rundown of the mobile application. If you look on the top menu bar of the top part of the display, I have a settings icon, a Wi-Fi connectivity icon, battery icon, and a camera icon. Now, if you tap on any of these, or most of them at least, they will give you some drop-down menus where you can change settings like camera settings, your settings overall on your device, and just the drone settings, etc. And then if you look slightly lower on the left-hand side, you will see the telemetry, how fast the drone is going, how far away it is from me, and the current altitude of it. And then if you move on to the right, you can see it's in motion track, and right now it's trying to track the front of me, which it's doing quite well. And then see that little X there? That is extremely important because if you're going near an obstacle that you think the drone may not be able to detect, such as a small tree branch, as you can see, watch what happens right here. I thought that it was going too close to the tree branch, and as you can see, those are thin branches, so I got a bit worried, but it did not crash into them.
Sorry, I'm having trouble.
So that is good. It's still in the back mode, so it's trying to go to the back of me. I just changed my direction. One thing to note with the Skydio 2 is once you select left, right, front, or back on your mobile device or beacon, it won't immediately move to that position until you are moving. So if you do happen to switch while you are moving, it will change positions. Except if you're standing still, it does not base the orientation around your face or which way you're directing. It's mainly the direction that you're traveling. So keep that in mind. And then continuing on, you can see that my controls on my application also are applicable to the motion tracking mode that I'm in. As you can see, I can change my height. I can tell the drone where to go, front, left, right, back, or even left, front, right, etc. I can also increase the range, so how far away it is from me. And then I can rotate it as well, left and right. Again, this drone does have an auto record function. You can turn that off in the settings, but I find it quite useful. You also have a map icon on the bottom right, and then you also have a little house. So now, what the house does, it's similar to DJI's Return to Home. On the Skydio 2, once you click it, a little pop-up menu display will appear that says either return to home or return to... it'll either return to your device or it will return to the takeoff location. So that's a pretty convenient feature, because if you're riding on a bicycle, for example, and you are quite a ways away from your takeoff location, you obviously want it to come back to your phone if you're not intending on traveling that direction again. But right now I'm just giving it a quick test, nothing too extreme here, just walking around, mostly open field. I do go through a few trees just to see how it handles it, but again, I will save that for a later video when I will go in depth into motion tracking. But for now, I'm just keeping it simple. So right now I've changed it to the right side, so now it is following me from the right side. Did change pretty fast. Alright, now it is moving to the front. The weather conditions were pretty sunny, a little bit cloudy. I'd say partly cloudy. I did shoot some footage out here while I had the drone. And this is a good little test of a narrow-ish spot. I have some tree branches up to my right. I have a few on the left that you can't see. And then, as you can see, there's a pretty big pine tree right there. And now I will begin moving back to where I came from. It does a pretty good job at maintaining its distance that you have set, which I've noticed, as well as the height. Again, if you do set a certain height and you set a certain range and it does change, that is due to it trying to evade an obstacle or if you're moving too fast. So that's good to know. And as you can see here, you have multiple different skills. You have one-shots, you have rockets, you have all these different features that Skydio has baked into the application itself. And they're actually quite useful. They're not gimmicky at all, in my opinion. A lot of them are usable for cinematic shots or just cool-looking shots in general. And Skydio will be adding more of those in the future with later updates. As you can see, I have the orbit function on right now. And you can use this while moving. As you can see, I'm moving forward and it is traveling right around me. I left my camera settings at 4K 30 frames per second with HDR on because that is most likely what many people will use. 30 frames per second or 24 frames per second are two typically used frame rates when using the Skydio 2, and I felt like that was a good test for it. Alright, so now we've just covered the test flight and the specifications of the Skydio 2. Now, the positives of this drone are quite significant. However, there are just a few minor issues that I feel obligated to talk about. This drone does require a micro SD card to fly, and you cannot fly without one. It cannot be flown at night. The range can be lacking occasionally with the controller, but for the most part, it's been fine for my needs. And smaller objects can cause some crashes. Now, these issues, interpret them at your will, except they're not as minor as long as you pay attention to the safety guidelines, you understand what you're buying, and you're prepared to fly the Skydio 2. Alright, so now we will be leading to the overview portion of this review. of this Skydio 2 expectations list and what to expect when you buy just a Skydio 2. So overall, the Skydio 2 is truly a new breed of drones. This drone is clearly focused on autonomy, whereas DJI is focused on more of the traditional flying experience. In my testing, you can capture some amazingly cinematic shots with the Skydio 2. You can capture some pretty phenomenal autonomous shots as long as you fly within reason and you understand the capabilities of this drone. In conclusion, if you're interested in something fresh in the drone community, something to spark a conversation, or just a tech enthusiast, just consider reserving a Skydio 2. Again, the Skydio 2 is ramping up production starting early May, and as the weather gets nicer, so does our opportunity to fly. Just a drone alone is enough for action sports junkies, and the overall experience associated with the Skydio 2 is something truly unique and I find pretty exciting. I think the Skydio 2 and Skydio as a company has got something really special with this drone, and I think they're onto something. Anyways, I hope you guys were able to gain some knowledge regarding just the Skydio 2. If so, the like button below is just a click away. If you're a drone pilot or interested in all drone related content, consider clicking that subscribe button and turning on notifications to stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everyone. As always, live, fly, repeat.